Good afternoon. This is Robert Wing with eXp Realty. I'm here in Denton, Texas, and today we're going to discuss relocation resources. Now, when I was in the United States Army, traveled all the time, and it was very stressful to move uh, from kids, animals, movers. I mean, it just point A to point B, and trying to sell a home and buy a home and make sure it all sync together. And it came down to finances, biggest stressor, always finance. Let's be honest. So I'm gonna tell you, moving is overwhelming, without a doubt. So when you move from one city to another state, even, what you want to do is look at the cost of living calculators. Why is this important? Taxes. Going from California to Texas, New York to Texas, New York to Florida, Wisconsin, wherever. Every state, every city has a different tax. We're not just talking property tax, we're talking sales tax, we're talking a cost of living difference. So look at those cost of living calculators. So before you take a job in Washington, D.C. making 110,000 and you're here in Dallas making 90,000, $110,000 doesn't stretch in D.C., especially when it comes to the real estate area. Number two, real estate, you're selling and you're buying. So right now in this market, we're sitting at 5.5%, 6%. Rumor is by August, we'll be at 8%. It may not happen. We don't know. But what I'm trying to say is that when you're selling and buying a home, you have to make sure everything syncs properly. And then does your dollar stress that for? And that falls into number three, which is your mortgage. When we start looking at your mortgages, not all mortgages are equal, from a VA loan to FHA loan, first-time home buyer. Those are just a few. And so usually, and every mortgage company is going to be different on their loans. They're different fees, structures. Then it goes into insurance. Insurance is a big deal. We're talking renter's insurance. We're talking full-time home insurance as well. But what about umbrella insurance? What about casualty insurance? Insurance is, I'll tell you, when I went from Fort Hood, Texas to Dallas, Texas, my insurance increased. When I have friends that are in Washington State, their insurance tripled. I mean, it was unbelievable. And so definitely account for your insurance, especially when you're number five, you're moving companies. Read the documents, document when they're moving, when they're packing your equipment, your stuff, and when they're selling it. Or your question. Yeah, they're selling it. Yeah, sold on the black market. They sold it to their friend on Craigslist or eBay. Now, when I'm saying things come up missing with moving companies. So with moving companies, review the company, find out the cost, look at their contracts, document, take pictures. One thing I love doing is 3D virtual tours. I virtual tour my whole entire house. So when it moves, I know every damage that has occurred prior and afterwards because it's been documented. And some companies will only pay you 40 cents to the dollar. Look at the contract. Next thing is temporary housing. This could be apartments, Airbnb. This could be couch jumping. Biggest thing on temporary housing, it gets expensive and it's not your home. So I'm going to tell you is when you're looking at temporary housing, moving from point A to point B, make sure you have a plan in place. You may think that you only need a lease for 6 months. Well, it turns out it's 9 months. Or a year because you're getting a house built. And so that falls into number 7, storage. Do you have storage insurance? Where's your stuff getting stored at? Because if you're buying a home in Denton, Texas, you're not going to store your stuff out in Dallas, Texas or Fort Worth. You want it to be as close as possible so you can get the stuff that you need. However, this leads to finally number 8. Before you move, discard anything you do not need. Donate. And what I mean by donate is make sure you get the tax write-offs. Take care of yourself on that end. So the top 8 things I recommend before you move: cost of living calculator. Are you real estate? Are you selling? Are you buying? Are you reviewing it? Number 3, mortgages. They're not all equal. Check them out. Then it falls into your insurances for your protection. And number 4, 5 is your moving companies. Do it yourself, hire it. And the Army, we have the old thing saying is, I got pizza and beer, and everybody shows up and we knock it out. And then it goes in that temporary housing stage of where we're going to live at until our home is finalized and sold, closing. And then are we going to store the stuff? Are we keeping the truck? What are we doing there? And then finally, which I believe before you even get into selling or buying, number 8, that's discarding and donating anything you do not need. So if you have any questions on your property, buying, selling, leasing, wherever your property needs are. You just need somebody to talk to. My name is Robert Wink. I'm at eXp Realty. I'm here to help.